Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. The Grammy Awards have just finished wrapping up as of 2 days ago, and I wanted to go through this list provided by Pitchfork, just talking about how some of the categories went and giving my thoughts and opinions about whether or not other people were more deserving or if they were right on the money this year. So, yeah, let's just get into it. They've got this neat little preamble here giving you extra information. I'm not going to go through that now, but you can if you'd want to. So, starting off with the big one, Album of the Year, and they went with Beyonce's Cowboy Carter. I think I'm fine with this choice over here. Obviously, Beyonce is somebody who has been in the music industry now for upwards of 20 years and has been repeatedly nominated in this category and repeatedly losing in this category. So I think I'm fine with someone of her level of artistry getting it for something like Cowboy Carter. Now, it probably would not have been my pick for Album of the Year. I thought maybe The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess by Chappell Roan was maybe the stronger record, as well as Brat by Charlie XCX, but I think I can live with Cowboy Carter here. That's probably the third best pick for me. And again, for somebody who's been so frequently maligned when it comes to this particular award, I think it's more than fine. It's almost like a better late than never kind of situation. And some of the other contenders here, Short and Sweet was fun, but I don't know about Album of the Year, and my thoughts on the Torture Poets Department are abundantly clear at this point. And as for the rest, I just don't really think there's any need in investing time into them. But ultimately, yeah, good pick over here. Then, Song of the Year for the first of 5 Kendrick Lamar wins we're going to see went to Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. This song absolutely took the world by storm. It is insane just how popular this diss track about calling somebody a pedophile became. And I think it was a good pick. Just looking at some of the other contenders here, it's not as though Not Like Us was completely uncontested in this category. I definitely would have noted Chappell Roan's Good Luck Babe as an extremely strong piece of competition. Also, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. That song was wildly popular, and I'm surprised that Billie Eilish in general actually came away from these Grammys with nothing whatsoever. But I'm not against the idea of Not Like Us being the one to take home the Song of the Year award overall. It's a great song. And yeah, I don't think I would have picked a whole lot over it, other than maybe Good Luck Babe. And as for Record of the Year, this one to Not Like Us as well. I'm aware there is a difference between Song of the Year and Record of the Year. I think one of them has to do with instrumentation and the like, and songwriting, whereas the other one has to do with like the mass appeal of the song. I do not know which is which though, so I will not be making that distinction. But in both categories, Not Like Us really shines, so it makes sense for it to take home something as huge as Record of the Year. Similar competition, again, in the form of Good Luck Babe and Birds of a Feather, which I really would not have minded taking home this category. Espresso also shows up here, and it was an immensely popular song, but I do definitely prefer Not Like Us and any of those other two to it, as well as Charlie XCX's, I should say. 360 being nominated here, which I thought was a really fun song. I wouldn't have minded to have that go to Charlie XCX, but I suppose she got enough out of these Grammys as is, and I'd really take anything over the Beatles' Now and Then. The song itself is fine. I'm just not fully convinced about the use of generative AI yet in music. I recognize it's not properly generative AI, but semantics, I prefer Not Like Us. And the best pop group performance. So, winner here was Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars with Die With A Smile. I'll be fully honest, I never really took to this song very well. It getting as popular as it did absolutely surprised me. And I don't love this as the choice, but just comparing it to some of the competition here, I get why it won. I probably would have gone with Guess featuring Billie Eilish. I thought that was a really fun track. And I don't know, could have gone for a Grammy win here for Billie Eilish. But I suppose she has enough as is, and both of these artists do. So I don't think it really mattered either way. Not the biggest fan of Die With A Smile, but I'm not really the biggest fan of any of these other songs. Levi's Jeans, I was firmly okay on. And as for the Boys Mine remix, I know some people feel really strongly about the song, but I guess it just didn't really hit the spot for me. And as for Us with Gracie Abrams and Taylor Swift, I've just never heard the song before in my life. No shade whatsoever to either of the two of them, but it's just not something that landed on my radar whatsoever. I would talk about Best Latino pop album, but I literally did not listen to any of these records aside from Orquideas, so my opinion is somewhat moot here. Um, yeah, I thought Orquideas was great, but I have absolutely no way of determining as to whether or not it compares to Shakira's record here. So, yeah, moving on swiftly. Best New Artist. This went to Chappell Roan, something I'm incredibly happy about. I thought her come up in 2024 was one of the most meteoric rises of any artist I've ever seen throughout my life. And she happens to make some bloody good music too, so I was really happy to see this go to her. I would have liked for her to come away from these Grammys with perhaps more than the one she did, but the one she did end up taking ended up being a rather big one, so I think I'm more than fine with that. As for a competition, there's obviously Doechii, who I think is at a similar level of being fully formed as an artist, and Sabrina Carpenter, obviously, who is easily the most popular of any of the musicians here. I know there's also a mention for both Shabuzi and Teddy Swims. They had songs that were just glued to the top 20 in the States, but I'm very, very happy that Chappell Roan ultimately was the one to go home with it. Shoutouts to Ray, though. Shoutouts to Ray. But yeah, I think Best New Artist really went over quite well, actually. Yeah. Best Country Album, Beyonce for Cowboy Carter. This is an interesting one for me because, to my understanding, the Country Music Awards saw fit to either award or not even nominate Beyonce in no categories. So it's interesting to me that the Grammys have not only awarded her with their ultimate award, but also the country-specific album. As for the records themselves, I've not heard the vast majority of these. Obviously, I think Cowboy Carter is a pretty good record, so I could understand it being in contention for the Grammy here. And the only other one I have heard is F1 Trillion by Post Malone, which was not doing it at all. So, yeah, yay Cowboy Carter, I guess, but somewhat mood opinion on my end. Best Vocal Pop Album. This went to Sabrina Carpenter for Short and Sweet. I don't mind this. Short and Sweet was maybe not my favorite record of last year, but it's a very fun listen, and I can understand it's important for her, for somebody who broke through in such a major way last year. To sing this album's praises again, I thought The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess was probably my preferred record, but I don't mind Short and Sweet taking it, and Hit Me Hard and Soft. Yeah, insane that a record like this really came away with nothing this year. I wouldn't have minded seeing this at all, but Billie Eilish has enough Grammys as is for somebody who's not even 23 yet, so I think this is completely fine. Yeah, Eternal Sunshine as an album just really ate it big time at these Grammys. I didn't even think this is a mediocre record. I just think pop music happened to explode in a way that unfortunately left her with some incredibly steep competition, and I think some of the others just kind of shone through a little brighter throughout the year. But yeah, perfectly fine with Short and Sweet being the record to ultimately take it home. Then Best Rap Album, going to Doechii for Alligator Bites Never Heal. This was absolutely my pick. I thought it was the best out of all of the albums nominated here by not quite some margin. I thought Common and Pete Rock's The Auditorium Volume 1 was a great album. But I completely understand Doechii taking it, and it's the one I wanted to take it. Yeah, wildly excited for anything that she does in her future. Some of the other contenders, The Death of Slim Shady would have been the complete comedy option to win it. And as much as We Don't Trust You is the most popular record here, it's not one for me that ended up having a whole lot of mileage throughout the year. I understand that there are singularly massive songs on that album, but We Don't Trust You is a pretty long album, and there's more than a couple songs on it for me that didn't quite hit the spot. And again, Might Delete Later would have also just been a complete comedy pick. This is one of the categories where I feel there was significant strong competition in 2024 that didn't even make the nominations list. Schoolboy Q's Blue Lips, Vince Staples' Dark Times. JPEG Mafia's I Lay Down My Life for You, but they were never going to invite him. But out of the people who made it here, I'm very happy to see that Doechii was ultimately the one to take it. Oh, also Denzel Curry, really weird to see somebody who raps on such a high level as him to just be continually missed on a critical level. But it is how it is, I suppose. And now I'm just going to move past some categories that I have no business talking about. Okay, we're back. Best African Music Performance. This went to Thames for Love Me JJ. I thought this was a really lovely song. I don't mind this being the one to win. I believe this is the category in which Tyler won last year. And as a fellow African man myself, well, not fellow, though not African man, but besides that point, yeah, it's always just cool to see my home continent getting stuff on the international stage. And I also think this was also just a really good song to win the category. Thames will be coming to South Africa here in about a month's time, so hopefully I can see her live. She's incredible. And I vastly prefer her work compared to the idea of Chris Brown, of all people, winning an African music Grammy. African. Anyways, in the world of best score soundtrack for visual media, film and TV, no surprises whatsoever to see Hans Zimmer come away with it. The Dune 2 soundtrack is the stuff of legends. I'm not at all surprised that somebody as decorated as him is only going to increase his award count. Though I did think that there was some pretty strong competition in this category. Obviously, Shogun, goodness, the work on that show is great. And I especially feel something for Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's score on Challengers, which is a film that got maligned at the Oscars. That hasn't happened yet, but I believe it received no nominations at the Oscars. So Grammy could have made up for that critical miss there, but that's otherwise besides the point. I don't mind this win for Hans Zimmer at all. As for best rock album, I have not heard enough of the rest of these records to really opine on whether or not I think there was strong competition here. I just don't know how I feel about the Rolling Stones' Hackney Diamonds being the one to take it. I didn't love this album by any stretch of the imagination, so yeah, maybe it was a good or weak year for competition, but I didn't love this. What I did love was St. Vincent's Broken Man. I think this was an incredible pick for best rock song. St. Vincent in general did really well at these Grammys, and that's super exciting for me to see, especially compared to a lot of other legacy acts that have been here for a long time. Not to say as though she hasn't. I think this is really cool to see. And in the world of best metal performance, this is Gojira, Marina Viotti, and Victor Lemazon. I hope that's how you say that. I apologize, French people. I believe this is the song that they performed at the Olympics, which was a ton of fun to see. Yeah, this performance was great, and if they're specifically grading that performance, I'm not at all surprised that it happened to go down as well as it did. I do definitely feel something for Judas Priest missing it for Crown of Horns. This is one of my favorite tracks on Invincible Shield, and maybe I would have liked for them to come away with something. But if this is the song that I think it is, I completely understand this going to Gojira. Also wouldn't have minded Suffocate here. Knocked Loose and Poppy respectively had really great years. It could have been cool to see them come away with something, but I don't mind this win at all. Best rock performance, I'm slightly more split on, however. The Beatles' Now and Then took away the ultimate award here, and I don't feel great about that. The word generative AI is not really the right term to describe what was done here. I believe they isolated vocals from a separate song and put that together, so they didn't really generate anything here. But I just don't love it, so to speak. I also don't really like the song all that much, so that also makes it easier for me to malign the track. Yeah, I maybe would have gone back to Broken Man for this one. I definitely preferred to Now and Then here. Best music video, the third of the Kendrick Lamar wins. Yeah, that music video was absolutely delightful. It was a ton of fun to look at. A bunch of really, really tight references just woven into the video. I thought it was shot really well. And it just came out at a time that almost brought back Not Like Us. Not to say that the song was flagging, but I think the song coming out when it did really did a whole lot for it. As for the Houdini video, yeah, I don't mind the Fortnite video here, but I do definitely think the Not Like Us video was probably the stronger contender here, though I had a lot of fun with the Charlie XCX music video, as well as A$AP Rocky's Taylor Swift. I could have lived with both of these records taking it over Kendrick here, but ultimately I don't think Not Like Us was a bad choice for this category. And in the world of Best Rap Song, yet again, Kendrick Lamar for Not Like Us. Really, I thought his competition wasn't all that strong. Well, I say that, but comparing it to Like That is a song for me that is completely saved by the Kendrick Lamar feature. I wasn't really a huge fan of what Future was doing on that song, which is unfortunate because I think that Metro Boomin's production on that song was insane to see. But Not Like Us, I think, is consistently good the whole way through. Yeah, Glow could have been fun. It was a lot of fun. But so is Not Like Us effectively. As for Rhapsody and Hit Boy, Asteroids was a great song. I wouldn't have minded the, not underground, but less popular pick of giving it to Rhapsody for this one. And Carnival is a genuinely horrible song. I'm astounded that it was even nominated, but I'm dearly, dearly thankful that it missed it. Why is this here? Then, Best Melodic Rap Performance. This went to Rhapsody for 3 a.m. This song is gorgeous. I don't mind this at all, and any level of recognition coming towards Rhapsody is... yeah, what do I even really say, honestly? I also thought the competition in this category wasn't great. I didn't love We Still Don't Trust You at all, really, nor Spaghetti for that matter. So I don't know. It kind of seems almost patently clear that Rhapsody would take it, but regardless of the circumstances, I'm glad that it did. This was the best of these by quite some margin. And then the loss of the Kendrick Lamar wins, the best rap performance going again to Not Like Us. It's already looking bad when the same individual was nominated twice in a category, but I thought the competition wasn't nothing. Yeah, Glow is back here, and that could have been a fun option for the Grammy to go to, especially Nissan Altima. This song is just 2 minutes of pure fun. It would have been incredible to see this go to Doja here. But I think Rap Album of the Year is already impressive enough for her to have taken home, so I'm not too cut up about any of this. When the Sun Shines Again really would have been great for Common and Pete Rock. I think the auditorium largely did not get the acclaim that I think that record deserves. It's an incredible listen. And I don't know. As much as I like Not Like Us, there's maybe some part of me that feels a twinge of disappointment that some of these records didn't go to so rather some of these Grammys didn't go to other artists. Kendrick Lamar is a Grammy darling. He has a tendency to win in categories where he is nominated. He has 22 of those things now. So it's not as though he necessarily needs to pile up any more of them. In the same vein, I like Not Like Us a hell of a lot, and I think it's pretty cool to see who's probably our greatest rapper right now continue his streak of dominance, really. So, yeah, I don't mind Kendrick having taken it here for Best Rap Performance. No, not at all. I don't really listen to R&B, and I would rather shit in my hands and clap than listen to any Chris Brown. So, I can't really comment on any of what happened here. Fortunately, I'm not listening to Chris Brown. Best Progressive R&B Album. I'm incredibly happy to see No Worries take it home with Why Loud, but I didn't know you could tie at the Grammys. I was unaware that that was a thing you could do. I will also go about listening to this record here, Avery Sunshine's So Glad to Know You. If it's being held in the same regard as Wild, I'm sure it's a lovely album. I'll probably make a little comment here talking about just my experience with the record. But yeah, just seeing a victory here for No Worries is really great to see. I do feel a little hurt about Abando Stone and the New World really coming home with nothing from these Grammys. I had this album as my 10th favorite of last year, and I still stand by that decision. Maybe I would have liked for Abando Stone to take it, but I can live perfectly fine with Wylod taking it. Just, it's a good record. And I'll also see how So Glad to Know You feels. Yeah, goodness, didn't know you could tie with a Grammy. Then, for Best Dance and Electronic Music Album, I had to skip over a lot of categories to get here. This went to Charlie XCX for Brat. Brat is a great album, but I'm not going to lie. Justice missing it for Hyperdrama absolutely guts me. This was one of my favorite records of last year. Now, obviously, Justice eventually won a Grammy at these events anyways, so it's not like I'm that upset. Really, I'm hurt more by Kaytranada missing it for Timeless, because he came home with nothing from these ones. But it's not as though Brat isn't also a great record in its own right. I think I'm fine with Brat being the one to take this here. This is really just a matter of favoritism. Yeah, I'm more than happy with Charlie XCX being the one to come away from this. And similarly, dance pop recording, this went to Charlie XCX for Von Dutch. It's much less of a competition here. Von Dutch was my favorite out of the songs that were nominated here. I didn't mind Yes and. I feel like I've got a bit of a sweet spot for that song. But it's, again, just a victim of a really turbulent year in terms of pop music. And I also find the Grammys has a bit of a bias against albums that come out really early on in the year. And Yes and, I think, came out in January or February of last year, which I don't think helped it at all. Von Dutch, one of the best songs on Brad, and a ton of fun. When the Brad album era was beginning, this, I believe, was the first single, and goodness, it set the tone. Don't mind this, and incredibly happy for a longtime fan of Charlie XCX. It's still somewhat wild to me to see her on stages like this when for a long time it seems like she was unable to marry her critical and commercial success together. Well, this is proof she can do that now, which is awesome. And Best Electronic Dance Recording. This went to Tame Impala and Justice for Neverender. I'm extremely happy about this one. This song is incredible. Incredibly cool to see this win anything. Yeah, again, still hurt Kaytranada and Childish Gambino missing it for Witchy. Witchy is an incredible song to listen to, but I do prefer Neverender, and it's probably the one that I wanted to win here. I didn't mind She's Gone Dance On, but well, I did He's Gone Dance On there, but I definitely would have liked for Neverender to win it, and I'm happy that Justice has come away from this Grammy season with something. And then finally here, Best Pop Solo Performance, which went to Sabrina Carpenter for Espresso. Massively popular song, not at all surprised that it took this category. I've said my piece here. I probably like it the second least out of all of these songs here. Apple, Good Luck Babe, and Birds of a Feather, I thought were just incredible pieces here. I could really live with any of these four taking it. Bodyguard was maybe not my favorite song of last year, but to call it the weakest in this category is more of a technicality than an indicator of quality. I don't mind this having gone to Espresso at all, but again, I would have liked for something to go towards Birds of a Feather, Good Luck Babe, or Apple. Yeah, and I think that's everything. Goodness, I was thoroughly surprised. This award season actually went incredibly well. Largely, I was agreeing with many of the categories that went here. I thought the Grammys, it feels like a completely different institution from the ones of particularly severe robberies in previous years. Yeah, return to form, maybe. Thank you for watching. I know this video wasn't nearly as structured as some of my previous ones. I've never done an unscripted video like this. Let me know where I can or cannot improve with this video. And yeah, should hope to make more videos sometime soon. Thank you very much.